Do y'all actually say that? Who actually says that? We get it, okay? You don't gotta tell us 35 times, okay? She's hanging on by a thread off the side of the mountain and I think I'm in love with her. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. That's fine for you. Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, Reading Over Reality, where we choose reading over reality any day of the week. Please like, comment, subscribe, stay for a while, and become one of your new favorite YouTubers, all that good stuff. You already know what to do. Today I'm about to be doing my January reading wrap up. If you saw earlier in the month, I did my toddler pick my books to read for the month. And we're just gonna talk about all the books I read this month, whether I read all the books he picked, which books I liked, which books I didn't like, and just a little bit about the books and if I recommend them. I think he chose 5 books for me to read, and I already had 2 books that I was guaranteed to read because they were already on my TBR. And the 3rd book released this month, so of course I wanted to get the first 2 out of the way so I can read the 3rd one. First book is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Y'all, I am so obsessed with the cover of this book. It is so beautiful. Like, this book is just gorgeous. The artist who did this, they did amazing, and I hope they got all their coins for this. This book is about a couple who have been divorced for I think 2 years now or something like that, but they own a restaurant together and they have 2 kids together, so they're still co-parenting and they're still working together. They're working through and deciding whether they want to get divorced or not get divorced, whether they want to stay divorced or get back together. Y'all, this was a 5-star read for me. Let me just get it out the way. This is not to say if you're not black you cannot read the book. I think it was a 5-star because I am black, a black woman, and it was just so relatable. I read other romance books and the characters aren't black. The books are still good and I still have 5-star books, but this one just felt like this could be my life. Like, this literally just was so realistic, like it could be my life. The daughter in this book was pissing me off the entire book. Like, I know you got your feelings and all that, but look girl, but I love that the mom was so gentle with her though, because the way that girl was acting and the way like my mama would have slapped me across my face, honey. But she was very gentle and understanding with her kids. I love that. I highly recommend it, even if you're not black. I just feel like the voices, the things that they were saying, the songs they were talking about, the things they were doing, it just was so relatable, because I'm like, I've done these type of things, I've been in these type of places, I say these words. It's like you could tell the difference between a white book and a black book, just for lack of better words, because there will be words that I'm like, that don't even sound like something. Y'all, the word in the spice scenes, that word that starts with a C, that pisses me off every time I read it, because like, do y'all actually say that? Who actually says that? Is that like a word that's actually ever used? I know it's like a word, but is that a real word? Like, do y'all use that word? Y'all forget. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's just certain things like that, those simple words, like, I don't know, man. If you know, you know. If you don't, sorry. 5-star, highly recommend. The next book I was so excited to get into, and it ended up kind of disappointing me. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. A girl, she made a deal with the devil to get out of doing something she didn't want to do. Basically, she wanted to do what she wanted to do and not have to answer to anybody. But he like switched it up on her and made it so nobody ever remembers her. She could meet somebody, but as soon as they part ways or they leave the room, they come back, they don't remember her. As soon as she's out of sight, she's out of mind. Eventually she meets a guy who ends up remembering her. This book started off so slow. I literally was like, I'm not gonna make it through all my books of the month because this book took me so long to get through. It started off so slow for me. I ended up skimming a lot of and it's past and present, so is her past for like the first few days, weeks, years after she made that deal, and then now the present, which is 300 years later. I was skimming them past scenes. Some of I was just like, girl, okay. A lot of it we didn't need. Like, it was just repetitive. Her meeting people, wanting to be around them, yada yada, blah blah blah. And then they forget her, and then she's going through her emotions, which I understand. We gotta know her emotions, but like, we get it. We get it. We get it, okay? You don't gotta tell us 35 times, okay? We get it. She 300 years, 300 times 365. We get it, okay? She's basically like having to deal with the devil that she made a deal with. He basically made the deal so that she could give up her soul, and she's like, oh well, nah, I'm about to live forever then, cause you know you tried to play me, now I'm about to play you back. It's a good book. Around page like, what is this? Say around page like 250, it started to get, you know, better. Actually, I would say when she met the guy, it got better. I'm gonna give this a 3.5 stars. Since that book took me so long to get into, and like I said, I had 2 books that I was guaranteed to read, like they were mandatory January reads for me because I kept pushing them off for so long. And like I said, the 3rd book came out this month, at the end of the month. So I was like, that took me so long, I need to, you know, just go ahead and get these out of the way. At first I planned for these to be my last reads of the month so I could just go into them, and these books are thick, so I was like, I need to just knock them out real quick, and if I'm able to read something else after this, then cool. If not, then whatever. Crescent City series started off with A House of Earth and Blood. This book was, I would say, a 4 for me. I love Sarah J Maas. I feel like y'all know that by now. I think I mentioned her in every single video so far. I've officially read every book she's put out. I've read all 3 series. This book was just a lot of information. So much information. It was good though. I highly recommend it. It's about a girl who, there's a big murder in her city. She's a party girl. She drinks, smokes, get high, gets drunk, all that. There's a murder that affects her. We get it, okay? You don't gotta tell us 35 times, okay? And she basically kind of goes through this like whole depression, and then 2 years later, there's another murder. She teams up with this guy to figure out who the real murderer is. It's like a murder mystery, basically. And then a little bit of romance. Next up, of course, would be A House of Sky and Breath. This is also about 800 pages. I think this one's like 801. This was a 5-star for me. This one was way slower though. Pretty much all of Sarah J Maas's books are slow. Not slow, I don't want to say that. The last 100 pages of Sarah J Maas's books is where all the action is. All the good stuff, where it gets crazy. Okay, it gets cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in the last 100 pages. The very last sentence of this book is what made this a 5-star. And that's crazy to say because I would have given this a 4-star if it wasn't for that very last sentence. Her twist, I just can't. I don't even got that much to say about it. I'm sorry if I'm not articulating what I'm trying to say well. It's hard to explain, but it just gave me that 5-star feeling after reading those 5, and it just makes you highly anticipate the next read. You think about it for the next week, 2 weeks, however long, which I had to wait 4 days for the next book. You just like start coming up with theories, thoughts, what if this, what if that, you know what I mean? It just gave you that feeling. Basically after that, I got into my mood reading era. I didn't want to finish the rest of the books that my son chose for me. I was just like, these are not the vibes that I want right now. Like, I gotta wait 4 more days for the 3rd book to come out. I don't care about none of them other books. So I'm like, but I want to read. Like, I'm not doing nothing else. I'm bored. What can I do? I was like, let me just go find a book that I have wanted to read for a while but just haven't bought. So I ended up going to Target and getting this book. Actually, I got 2 books, but this is the one I decided to read, which is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I'll try to put it on the screen if y'all can't see this. Sorry. It's the gray. It's about a girl who, and this is on the back of the book, so I'm not spoiling it for y'all. Her brother's best friend rapes her at a very young age. She starts high school. She's dealing with the aftermath of being raped at a very young and confusing age, and she's just going through it. And this was Why am I struggling to talk right now? This girl went through a lot. She acted out in ways that just were, I don't know, you can't tell nobody how to react to their tragedies or their trauma, but she acted out in ways, it is sad. It's triggering. She has to deal with her family. She has to deal with her friends. She has to deal with people at school. She has to deal with guys that she's dating or whatever. She has to deal with herself too. So this was a 3-star for me. It was very relatable, and the 3 stars not bad. I'm neutral. It wasn't amazing, out of this world crazy, but it also was not bad, and I would recommend it for people to read it. So 3 stars. And after that I was like, well, I might as well, there's a second book that just came out, I might as well read that one. So I went back to Target, ended up getting the second book, which is The Way I Am Now. This is kind of like a redemption story for her, basically. Like, after those 4 years of just like spiraling, dealing with it on her own and not telling anybody, not talking about it, not, you know, whatever, this is kind of her redemption story. I would also rate this a 3 stars. I think the author did a very good job of depicting how this specific trauma can affect females, women, how people react to knowing about this trauma, not knowing about this trauma, and dealing with how you respond to this trauma. She did a good job of depicting the things that come after and before this trauma. Last book, which I technically finished February 1st, but I only had 100 pages that I think it was like 100 pages that I read on the first, and this is a 850-ish page book, 850 or 60 page book. So I'm not counting this as no February read. The 3rd book in the Crescent City series, A House of Flame and Shadow. I did a reading vlog for this, so I'm not really gonna go into much about this. It's gonna be a full spoiler reading vlog. Yeah, I can't talk much about this. I'm not even gonna give my rating because I'm gonna talk about it in that book. Yeah, but I do recommend the series for y'all. That's all I will say. That is 7 books this month. So I'm tripping, y'all. I am tripping. I'm like, I know I read more than 7 books. Y'all, I also read some books on my Kindle. Also, honorary mention. This was a soft DNF for me. My son chose this for me to read. It's been on my TBR for a while. I got like halfway through. It's a YA book, and it's very extremely YA. It's just too YA for me. It's like y'all are immature. Like, really, it's just like y'all causing problems for yourselves by not just it, like, it's just too YA for me. That's all I gotta say. Secrets Never Die by Vincent Ralph. It's not bad. It's just, like I said, too YA. Like, if I read this in maybe high school or middle school, I probably would have loved it and got through it. But after reading all that, that's very adult. This ain't it for me. So that was a DNF. Let's talk about what I read on my Kindle. Before I Let Go, the first book I read was No Cool Down for Love by Aaliyah Burke. No Cool Down for Love by Aaliyah Burke. I read on my Kindle, on Kindle Unlimited. Child. It's giving insta love, and I don't. Basically, he's a pro athlete who just went through a breakup or something like that. He goes out of town. It's the winter. He's on his way back home. He sees on the side of a mountain a car tipped over. There's a girl in there. This is on the description too, so I'm not spoiling nothing. There's a girl in there. He saves her. They end up getting stuck at a hotel. So it's forced proximity, one bed, shared bed. It's giving insta. It just was not it for me. I don't like the insta love thing. It's like, oh, she's hanging on by a thread off the side of the mountain, and I think I'm in love with her. Like, oh, brother, this guy stinks. I gave that book a 2-star. I read it, I finished it. It might be somebody else's cup of tea, it ain't mine. Where's the Fun and Forever by Ashley Kay on Kindle Unlimited. It's a vacation love story. This one was so cute. I actually liked it. It was very short. Was it short? Yeah, it's only like 98 pages on Kindle Unlimited. It was short and sweet, giving novella. Basically, they fell in love on vacation. It's cute, short, and sweet. I give it a 3 stars. I recommend it as a cute little fluffy, brainless read. Y'all, these Kindle Unlimited books be going in one ear and out the other. Rumor has it You're the One by Elizabeth. I'm pretty sure this gave Wattpad, but I think I liked it, but I don't see nothing in the description that reminds me of what it was about. What was that about? I just really can't remember. Okay, I can't tell y'all about that one because I don't remember. The next book I read was Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. I'd give it a 2.5 star. Was it bad? It wasn't my cup of tea. It just kind of reminded me of Wattpad books. It's about a girl and a boy who want to themselves. They end up finding each other in the moment where they both are about to do it, and then they decide to come up with a pact that every year they will meet up on that same day in that same place and do like a mental check-in with themselves. They go to the same high school. The guy ends up himself. Years later, she runs into his older brother. They get to talking and then, you know, reminiscing about him, yada yada, blah 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 blah. It was cool. They were annoying. The older brother and the girl, they were annoying because like, just y'all want to just do it, okay? Y'all know y'all want to just do it. Like, from the moment y'all laid eyes on each other, y'all want to just do it. Like, y'all are pissing me off. Okay, 2.5 star. I'm going to have to start writing down my thoughts on these books in like my notes or something after I read them, so that I can remember to tell y'all about these books, because I don't be remembering, especially them Kindle Unlimited books. I'm a mood reader. I want to read something and decide what I want to read next. I don't want a list of books that I have to read, you know what I mean? Like, unless it's just books that I just want to read so bad. So I'm going to do some of the books that I think that I want to read this month. First off, me and my friend, she wants to try to get into reading, so we're supposed to be buddy reading The Housemaid. We haven't started because she procrastinates, so I'm gonna have to like force her, push her into reading. I'll be like, hey, read chapter 1 through 5 this in the next 3 days, and then we can, you know, go there, because she's like, don't start till you get halfway through because you read too fast. And I'm like, I'll wait for you, but you also need to be reading these books, because I don't like reading multiple books at a time, but also I know she's gonna read it slow and I don't want to read it without her or finish it in a day and she ain't even started. I'm going to have to read other books while I'm reading that with her. So The Housemaids by Frida McFadden. This will be being released this month in February. If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nowlin, which is the sequel to If He Had Been With Me. And if you don't, you know, I cried like a baby in that book. Oh my god, that book is so sad. Oh my gosh, I hate it here. But that's the sequel. I'm hoping that somehow, some way, there's a miracle. There's a twist or something where there's a happy ending, because the first book didn't have no happy ending, and that just broke my heart. Fast by Millie Belizaire. It looks like a little novella type book. Kindle is tripping. Kindle tripping for real. And it's making me mad. It's making me mad for real. On Kindle Unlimited, Black Girls Must Die Tired. I think that was the name of it, something like that. Oh, this was the second book I ended up buying at Target when I was in my little slump after Crescent City. 5 to 5. I've been wanting to read this since I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I might actually start my month off with this, and I think I might try to knock this off my TBR. But like I said, I will be mood reading. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget. Talk to y'all later. Good night. Bye. I touch that fine for you. I do that.